So the task at hand is to really carefully analyze Mannequin, scene by scene, frame by frame.
That's excessive.
Yes. Okay. Dig in. Get something to eat, everybody. As is our process here on Load Bearing Beams, we take a break between our history segment and our main movie discussion. And I did go back and watch the movie again, as I usually do, to make notes, get clips. Did this improve my appreciation for the film?
Did it?
Maybe by like a quarter of a star.
I'll take it. Wait,
My-
our point system doesn't even allow for quarter stars.
I know.
I still take it.
Yes. Do I round up or down? I don't know. But my central issue with this is the director, I don't feel like has a grasp of the material and the tone. I feel like this is 5 different comedies at once.
I will allow it.
Thank you. Like toward the end of the movie, there's for the first time in the whole movie, there's a sped up, fast sequence. Like Hollywood covers his convertible with a cover and they go into fast motion.
That's got to be because it was a funny bit, but the actor probably took a really long time to actually do it. When I was watching it, that was what I was.
But it's like, it'd be funny if he did it in real time. And it was like, it's just so urgent. We have to run to the store, but he still has to cover, like, if you go slower, it's funnier. But, like the people outside the theater in Oklahoma City said they love fast motion. So got to do it. No, I'm not saying I know that happened. It's just.
Oh.
And, like the guy is driving the motorcycle with his mannequin and this woman's like, look, it's a man and his dummy. And her husband's like, who are you to criticize? I'm like, where did this come from?
Also, when did anyone start calling a mannequin a dummy? Just because it's made of wood, and often they're plastic, and metal. So that's
even on the poster.
That was a stupid joke from the beginning. Like, a dummy is for ventriloquism dolls. Ventriloquist?
Ventriloquism.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Even the poster says, like, Jonathan may have a mannequin to have sex with, but he's no dummy. It says that.
I must say, the thing I've been let down by the most whenever we review movies from the 80s and 90s, and even early aughts sometimes, are the stupid freaking punchlines they put on the movie poster.
Oh, taglines.
Sure. It often does not end up. It doesn't withstand the test of time. They have no control, marketing, over what the lasting impression and vibe of the movie is, and I feel like the vibes are off often. And what comes to mind is Romeo and Michelle High School Reunion, the blonde leading the blonde. Like, fuck off! They invented Post-its.
Even that one, yeah, they did. Even that one, like, that feels like it could be on a poster today. In the 80s and 90s, like, you just had the longest taglines, and often there'd be multiple taglines.
Right, like each post, they just try A and B testing.
Yeah, right. Now it's just very short and just feel the power or whatever.
So you're saying you miss jokes?
I miss jokes.
Are you saying you wish they were
I kind of miss the really, long and unnecessary long taglines.
I think it's just maybe because marketing, you can't be totally sure someone caught a commercial or however it is they advertise movies back then. So it's like, I need to give you a quick gist of what you might expect. Here's my elevator pitch if we're going up one floor.
These ladies went to high school together. It's 10 years later. They got an invitation in the mail. They opened it. It's a reunion.
See how that would go? See how that didn't work?
So the movie Mannequin opens in ancient Egypt, predictably.
As soon as this happened, I'm like, it's just like with The Exorcist. I never remember we open here.
It is very exorcist-ish. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, the on-screen text says, Edfu, Egypt, a really long time ago, right before lunch. So you know what kind of movie you're watching. Because speaking of Romeo and Michelle, we watched that movie, and to prepare, I watched the Woody Allen movie, Mighty Aphrodite, to prepare myself.
Oh, right, because of Mira Sorvino.
Yes. And I feel like this movie, Mannequin, could easily be a shitty Woody Allen movie.
It had those beats.
Yep. Like, he's playing the guy who makes mannequins, and like Scarlett Johansson plays the mannequin. My mannequin is alive and no one believes me. Can't you see it?
I immediately put him in like the guard role for he'd put himself in like a silly role.
He'd put himself as the romantic lead.
Or the little old lady that almost gets hit by the sign.
He could be her.
Yeah.
So we're in a tomb. Kim Cattrall Emmy is in this tomb. She's dressed herself up in a mummy costume. There's scarabs. Brendan Fraser's outside the pyramid, if you listen closely. And her mom comes in and she's like,
Bobby, baby, mommy, get into this man's car.
It's time for you to get married to Hazira.
A sarcophagus for 2.
He sells camel dung.
Can't wait.
And she's like, Mother, I want to do things. I want to invent things. I want to create human-like dolls that you can put clothes on, and I want to fly. So
right.
She says, God's help me. And then they make her disappear. And
the mom is not that upset, I must say.
A little nonplussed.
Like, no.
So, she keeps these Egyptian gods recur throughout the movie. I think we have to bring back our old segment, Is God Real in this movie? Okay. And if so, which god is it?
I imagine it's the cabin in the woods one.
Go on.
No, just that there's definitely going to be a bloodletting blood sacrifice, and then it's inside of some sort of tomb, and it goes through the.
Yeah, if you saw what Emmy was up to all these years, like there's a lot of that.
Right. Lots of people have gone missing, and people have been said to have crashed on an airplane. But what it really is that Emmy has been killing these famous missing and dead figures all along.
So, animated credits. Hey, look at them.
I was wondering, did this work for you? Because I was like, oh, thank God. It's something Matt likes for some reason.
Animation.
Animated credits. Out of nowhere.
Hey, good job making these.
But is it like they didn't know who was going to be in the star? Well, no, they knew the names because they wrote them in. But it's like, let me make this I guess it's a cat. Is this an Egyptian cat? No, thank you, asshole. Yeah, I know the thing with the snout's a pig. I mean, the lady.
Yeah, that's a cat. Egyptians love cats.
Okay.
The animation here is by Sally Cruikshank and her team at Playhouse Pictures. I was wondering, what does this remind me of? And when I looked into it, no, it's not like Grease at all, but it's something I know I've seen
Hanna-Barbera?
No, what it is it's the animated interludes from Sesame Street, which this Sally Cruikshank also did. And she also did a bunch of other movies, had animated opening credits around this time. Ruthless People, Loverboy, Madhouse. You seen any of these movies?
Loverboy. He's the pizza delivery boy that's also a whore.
That movie was written by Robin Schiff of Romeo and Michelle. That's why that poster looks familiar to me.
Okay, I thought you were going to tell me why it looks familiar to me, and you'd be wrong. And Patrick Dempsey. Meow.
And then the song playing during this sequence is In My Wildest Dreams by Belinda Carlisle.
Mm-hmm. It's really a nothing song, isn't it? Especially considering the fucking banger that happens at the end. Oh, it changed my life. I can't wait till we get there. I'm going to calm down.
So we meet Jonathan, Andrew McCarthy. And this guy, his heads are in the clouds. He won't focus on the job, or he focuses too much because he loves making mannequins.
With nipples, though.
Well, that's the job. You got to
sculpt their nipples.
Do mannequins not have nipples? Is that not a thing?
No, they haven't had nipples in a minute. Those are 80s mannequins right there, baby.
His methods are unorthodox. He insists on nipples. So yeah, he's dancing around with his mannequin. He's singing My Girl.
Off key.
Even though it doesn't appear to be playing in the room, but like his coworkers are joining in. Oh, Jonathan, look at you go. I'm going to dance too, My Girl.
It's playing in the other room, it seems. Like they're not in the cool room of the workshop of the factory. And at this stage, why the fuck do they have wigs on? These would be bald mannequins right now. It's silly that it doesn't matter. Go on.
So he just wants to make his art, just wants to make his beautiful art. But
right.
The boss is like, we're here to make profits, not art. So you're fired.
So few jobs for sculptors. But Jonathan, he's ahead of them. He turns every job into a tedious details.
No matter what job he gets.
He is frustrating. Tell us
what he does.
All right. Well, so this one seems to be the only one where he doesn't get into his little, I have to make everything take a really long time. So first I guess the first thing we see is he's a balloon artist, and it connects to the job he had right before because you see he's doing it for his boss's son's party. It's the boss from the one that fired him right before. It doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. It is. And boy, is this wacky. In this reality, a large balloon can take a boy away into the sky. Like, what is this movie doing? Mm-hmm. So, okay, that he gets fired because that's not okay. And then here's our second, not Tim Robbins. I'm going to need help here. Tim Burton moment. Because at first I got very, Nightmare Before Christmas vibes when it's a conveyor belt of arms and legs and they're putting together a lady. And then all of a sudden he's Edward Scissorhands and he's making a poodle out of a topiary when no one asked him to.
They just want you to trim the hedges, not make a lawn animal.
Whoa!
I can't help it. I have the soul of an artist.
And the attention span of someone who doesn't listen to instructions. And then the next thing he does is he goes to make a pizza pie and he spends a really long time, which, come on,
and he
Jonathan.
just loads it with toppings.
Come on, Jonathan.
All the colors of the rainbow. And each time he gets fired, the boss is like, go collect your paycheck and get out of here.
Like my
all these
15-cent paycheck? I've been here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but it's nice that they're paying him. But they all say that phrase. Go get your paycheck, and then
You know how many W-2s this man's going to have to produce at the end of the damn year, or W9? I forget. I forget which one it is when it's you have an employer. It doesn't matter. Let's not get into taxes on this episode again. All right, now we meet Roxy, Carol Davis. She seems to like be into him. That's his girlfriend. Sorry. He goes and picks her up at her fancy. I assumed at first this was some kind of like Wall Street situation. I know they're in Philadelphia. There's no inclination. There's no reason I should think this is some sort of
department store
swag. Like, but why do people have nice clothes? Oh, because they fucking work there. But anyway, they look like a bunch of bankers. He comes up on his little motorcycle. She's so embarrassed. She gets on the back and hugs him dearly. And then she needs to get away really fast because her boss is coming out. And it's like, is her boss just a giant creep who she's running away from? Or is she so embarrassed?
No, she's trying to ingratiate herself with the muckety mucks, with the boss.
But she's
Mr.
hiding
BJ.
from him.
No, because she's embarrassed to be on the back of a motorcycle instead of a Rolls Royce.
That was option B I was offering. Okay, but he's also a creep. They're all creeps. Everyone she works with is a creep.
So she's like, that's Mr. BJ Wirt. He's the regional manager. He basically is Illustra, which they don't say at any point Illustra is a department store.
They do not.
But
they love tinsel. Look at that window display.
Yeah,
Could you find anything tackier?
We'll find out later. It's in contrast to the classic beauty of Prince and Company.
Yeah,
the good department
store. The inside of their store feels very 80s, very neon lights, super. I guess that made it like high energy and exciting for the time. And Walmart and Kmart and stuff wouldn't have been what they are now. But that is kind of where Walmart and Kmart went, was this like bright colors. Everything's jam-packed in, signs and like low, shitty, those ceilings you can open. What am I trying to say?
Popcorn?
No, the ones that pop open, you can push them. It doesn't matter. It's like a false ceiling. It does. I'm sure it was supposed to look like hip and cool, but it just looks like cheap and shit. So whoever mimicked that going forward made this store not look cool.
So I want
to
play this clip because this right here is sort of my indictment of the director for not letting his actors know what kind of movie they're in.
Okay.
And I want to apologize to Carol Davis. I think she's good in this movie.
Yes.
Second time through, I think she's pretty good. Right here, it's just weird and confusing.
Oh, Rox, this job at Illustra's just destroying your sense of humor. You gotta quit.
Huh, I'm not the one that can't deal with reality.
Reality is very disappointing.
Jonathan, I really do care about you, but I think that if we sleep together tonight, we'd only confuse things. I think you should see a professional.
Professional what? You mean a hooker?
No, a psychiatrist.
No, it's like
I can't afford a psychiatrist, Roxy.
Well, then call one of those shrinks on the radio.
Come on, they're only good if you have little problems that fit between the commercials.
Good night, Jonathan.
So it's like, is he like a Chandler Bing? Like a lot of he's a lot of wisecracks hiding behind sarcasm, but he doesn't play it that way. But he's saying these things that sound like they are.
The way I've always read it is he's a kid. Like, I mean, he's just immature and kind of. He's kind of immature, but he seems to be like a romantic as well. I don't know. It just seems like he can't be serious, or maybe she's so serious he feels like he needs to keep it light.
That makes sense, but all of this is like this is supposed to be like rat-a-tat-tat screwball comedy, but
it's not.
It's so flat.
It's very flat.
Yeah.
Well, and she's completely uninterested in him. I mean, and grossed out by him losing another job. I mean, just completely turned off. But to me, I thought they broke up here, but now I guess no, they just.
Oh, it certainly seems like
it
they
does,
do.
but she still seems to think they're still together later on. It was just like, look, just not tonight. Don't come back to my apartment. I'm not going to reward this behavior. Eat your ice cream, little boy.
Like what? Okay. If we sleep tonight together, it'll just confuse things.
Well, yeah, I guess he should have some sort of, that's what I'm saying. She's the mommy, he's the baby. It's like he needs to have some sort of punishment while he eats his fucking ice cream.
Hey, okay.
All right, then. All right, Jonathan's sad. You can tell because he won't drive his motorcycle. He'll only push it, and only when it's raining. Kidding. It breaks down. What else could go wrong? And just as he's at his lowest point, in the dark, pushing the only thing he has left, he sees that woman he made once, and he runs over. Oh my God, it's you! Like, oh my God! And it just gives him the biggest erection, I assume. Oh, and then his motorcycle works, which, okay, so anything's possible with Kim Cattrall.
Yes. And he is, as you said, walking his motorcycle through the rain. And this right now is the introduction to, the music in this movie is fucking nuts. It's just swaps between the most somber piano, and now this piano will recur throughout our episode, depending on the seriousness of what we're talking about.
Okay.
So it switches between this and just like the most 80s synth you can imagine. So then we meet Estelle Getty. She plays Claire. Her department store, she's just inherited it. It's not doing well. And, okay, we need to go.
It's very loud. Okay, now I feel like I'm in the old country. All right, go.
So Estelle Getty is Miss Claire Timken. She's inherited Prince and Company. And Jonathan returns to the store to ogle his mannequin. And there he runs into Miss Claire, who... she says, "Oh, I just recently inherited this store from my father. He died, but he died exactly where he wanted to be, in women's lingerie." And Andrew McCarthy's like, "What? What?" But she says lingerie. I should have gotten this clip. She says it so weird. She says it like laundry. In women's laundry.
Great. What a good little piece of
observation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What the fuck? Man, we're spending a lot of time on this scene.
Yes.
Who knew?
Jonathan, suddenly there's a sign swinging away, and Jonathan pushes her out of the way.
Well, instead of just saving her life, he also takes a ride on the fucking sign. You know what? To show his dedication to the money this woman is spending and how important this business is, that these assets matter. They're not disposable. And therefore, he will not be like he has been in the past.
Well, he swings around on this sign for a long time. Like, and she's like, "What is your name, son?"
And as if that's not enough, he electrocutes his butt not once, but twice. So many gags.
And here's where we meet the synth score. Oh my God! Get me down from here!
Okay, not Grease at all. You're doing your Travolta
I don't
impression.
have that many voices. Tell me about this department store.
This department store is amazing. In my head, this movie was a mall movie, and I get it. It's just if a mall were vertical, because holy fucking shit, not since Mad Men, and even then, have I seen a department store with, is it 11 floors? It is I mean, to be fair, the only floor that has a lot of surface area is the first one, because the rest of them are kind of this like wraparound thing, but it's just immensely huge.
Well, I think department stores, have their origins in city centers and downtowns. And we think of department stores as being in malls, but I think this is more the classic thing. And
it feels that way. Hence why it reminds me of the one in Mad Men in the first season. It seems like the higher you go up, the darker it gets, the less populated it is, the more random the product. Like, here's a mattress, something anyone needs to buy once every 10 years. And they're expensive, and no one's up here. But please don't sleep in the bed for some reason, lady. Get your son out of the bed. I'm not speaking from personal experience. He likes the beds. Let the boy lay in the... All right.
Who the fuck buys a bed from a department store?
And who's taking this home? How are we getting... I guess it gets delivered, but... I always just assumed the beds are there to show off the
sheets and the blankets.
Right, which is in the comforts, which is true. It's just in Mad Men, they're selling beds. Yeah. So it confuses.
Well, this is, it's not 1903 anymore, where the point is, it's a store with departments, every department you need. Because where else are you going to get a bed? Where else are you going to get a toaster or a toy?
Right, and tools and hard things with soft things.
This department store, Prince and Company, it's empty. It's almost like a department store right now. Like, every time we're in a department store, I'm just like, how the hell is this place open? I'm outnumbered by employees like 3-1. It makes no sense. But it's very melancholy.
Okay. I'm bummed.
Because it used to be a place where like we're rewatching Mad Men. Multiple women who like get married say finally I could stop working at the department store, but it was a place where women could work.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was a path to like middle class career. You didn't have to be super educated, and maybe you could even move up into corporate.
Well,
But-
I mean, it's a form of networking, right? Especially if you're at the high end places, you're going to meet and run into people who have decision making power and stuff in different companies.
So the person who runs this store, his name is Mr. Richards. He doesn't have a first name.
I love this character.
And he's James Spader. And yes, he's very funny in this movie.
He is good at being this guy.
Love a fussy department store manager. It's kind of a trope.
There's a lot to be done.
Yeah.
It's a thankless job.
So he is plotting to take over the department store / sell it / demolish it.
Just, I think, to become the number 2 at the highest grossing one by sabotaging it so that it can be bought by the Illustra
I think
guy.
that's it. Yeah. Because he's colluding with,
And I'll be the VP or some bullshit.
he's colluding with Mr. Worth over at Illustra.
Wirt.
Sorry. And again, I return to my theory. Just swap Spader and McCarthy, and suddenly this movie works, 50% better.
Spader has such a punchable face, though.
Oh, okay.
He's got a little asshole face.
So he wouldn't
looks
work
like a
in
jerk.
any movie?
No.
But okay, I watched some of Weekend at Bernie's, and I agree. Yes, he is Andrew McCarthy, funny in that.
Yep.
But he is weaponizing his inherent blandness he's a good shit heel. So make him a shit heel here.
Oh, that's true.
And this movie needs to be about a weird guy, a guy who would fall in love with a mannequin. I mean, he doesn't fall in love with a mannequin. He falls in love with a real woman. But there needs to be more
John
weirdness to him.
Cusack could have done that role well.
Sure.
He's always fallen in love hard. No matter the scenario, no matter how much the girl doesn't want to also love him.
He will never give up.
So, because Jonathan rodeoed with a sign, saved a lady, he gets a new job. The stock boy. Pushing around panties. Boxed panties for some fucking reason. And he knew exactly where department store windows are. Weirdly, they are inside of also where the dressing rooms are. I was like, why is he going straight to the ladies' dressing rooms to try and find the mannequin? And one of the doors is the mannequin. If a non-woman needs to go change out these mannequins, why would you want someone walking straight through that department to do their job? Hence why they work at night, though, when you think about it. Window dressers work at night. I had no idea.
See anything you like, Switcher?
I was just looking for panties.
Huh? Well, you found them. However, my
Right,
friend,
you're in
you
the
missed
scrubs
lingerie
department. Where are these ugly fucking clothes?
Well, get going. Asshole. What was that? Oh,
I'm glad you got
Nice
the end of that
haul.
clip where he's just walking off and all you hear is footsteps. Perfect. Okay, what do you want me to say about this?
Here's what I want you to say. James Spader says lingerie exactly how you accuse me of saying the word lunch.
What do you... Lingerie. I like that. Lingerie. How dare you make a thing?
the lingerie department. The lingerie department.
Which I do not say.
Yeah, except
Lunch.
for whenever you're really interested in having some lunch.
Well, I get really into it. Do you want to go out and get a bite to eat for lunch?
Ah!
What do I say? What do you think I say?
That's what I just said.
Say it.
Lunch.
What? All
You
right.
put extra letters in there.
I'm just trying to sound like Spader.
All right. Now we meet Hollywood Montrose, my favorite character in all of cinema, it turns out. Now, he is played by Meshach Taylor, who I was very sad to find out died in 2014, and I wish you hadn't put this picture of him because it makes me sad to think of him outside of the world of the movie. How dare you? But he is just the most supportive, understanding, flamboyant, smart, fucking creative. He's just Johnny on the spot. He's so supportive. He doesn't know this man. Maybe it's lonely working nights and he's just happy to see someone else who cares about going the extra mile, whatever it is. But so much to love about this person.
And crucially, he sees, Jonathan, I see that you want to fuck the mannequin.
Right.
I don't judge you for it.
Right.
It's
no
okay.
harm. There's no harm here.
We're a family here at Prince and Company.
Not even that. Weird recognize weird. And eccentric recognize eccentric. I'm not talking about his sexuality. I'm talking about like he's used to people not getting it.
No, he is weird. Yes. And he even says that. I like you. Finally, I met someone who works here who's stranger than I am.
Yeah, something like that.
And now, neither of us is gay. So we can't judge whether this performance is offensive. It does like go over the top in every single character and every single, stereotype.
But I will say, I mean, it was already a well-founded character, right? Or which came before, Designing Women or
Designing
this?
Women came first, which again,
which is 8 years, 8 seasons. And I guess they had enough information to know that like this character worked for, I guess I can't know. I can't know if there was an outcry from the gay community to put an end to that character, that they would have done it or not, didn't replicate it on this movie. But from what I read, it was just nice to have representation, especially of a black person that is gay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I read an obituary. Well, article by a gay man in Vulture. Don't remember the author's name, but who said this was somebody he loved on Designing Women because he just didn't see people like himself represented, a gay man, but a very eccentric and weird gay man like this. So my take is this he plays it with such joy, with such sweetness,
right,
and such weirdness that I really like it.
It seems like a celebration.
And he's not the butt of the joke at all,
ever,
and everyone likes him, even fucking asshole Andrew McCarthy. And
I will say the only time he is made fun of and talked about in a derogatory way, Andrew McCarthy then says that man's a bigot. Like it's corrected. It's not a punchline. And the thing that Andrew McCarthy does in this movie that's likable is he laughs along with Hollywood. Like Hollywood makes jokes and he laughs. I like in movies when characters laugh at each other. I do too. It's very Bob's Burgers, very Bob of Bob's Burgers specifically. And you actually just put a nail in. One of the things that I like about Andrew McCarthy that is he's so natural. You say it's bland, I say it's realistic. He's always snickering or laughing or making a little stupid joke when squeezing something in there when it doesn't need to go. But like, I guess
real people are also boring and have no charisma or screen presence.
But I think he does have charisma, and I do think he says little things when he shouldn't, but not in a I'm so theatrical, I'm so precocious way. He just in a very relatable way. It's what I like about him. So there. All right. Now, Captain Felix Maxwell, I'm pretty sure of Police Academy. I should have looked that up. And he is the night patrol, and they show his white socks. So that's how you know there's no need to respect this man. It's the equivalent of showing toilet paper on the bottom of his shoe. What an idiot. Doesn't even know to wear black socks or to have pants that go all the way to the bottom of the floor. But he takes himself very seriously. He's probably ex-military. They might even say he is. Actually, they do.
Dwight Schrute, I'm kind of picking up on is
don't make me say it.
No, because that is not this character. No.
I'm gonna take my bag
Don't do it.
Okay. Well.
No, because especially with what I'm gonna say next. No, this guy definitely was at January 6th. And he's like a citizen soldier.
Right. He needs to have that authority, that purpose again, that he liked that little power, that bit of power, and
he thinks he's a troop, even though he's not a troop anymore. But I'm still a troop. I'm gonna bust into Comet Ping Pong and save everybody there.
I got you. But when you peak, then when that's like the most purpose you've ever had, I do understand like seeking it out in the real world, and veterans don't get any respect, not the way that you're really supposed to. So, but he seems completely oblivious to how poorly he's being treated and talked to by the guy he reports to. He's kind of kissing his ass a little bit, or like just taking it. But maybe that's a military thing too. Just take it.
No, so G.W. Bailey plays Felix. Mm-hmm. He does a fine job, but this is a character from a different movie. Like this is like from a straight to Nickelodeon movie.
I agree.
Like again, 5 different comedies in this one comedy.
You know what I realized after? I'm going to look it up. I should have already. But a weird coincidence in Mannequin 2, the guy that plays Weekend at Bernie is the bad guy. Mm. And then he's a good one. He's funny. I remember him being very funny and over the top. But anyway, I was just like, oh, that's wait, there's no connection there. They're not in this movie. They're in those movies together. Anyway.
So the Mannequin comes to life because
she's so casual too. She's
Jonathan is, playing with the mannequin behind closed doors. And suddenly she's like, well, hello, I'm alive. And he's like, what? But not what enough.
No, he falls into the window. He does a great job.
I'm saying the rules of physics and reality are not what I took them to be. Okay, I guess. So
it's the same thing with Pleasantville, right? It's like, how long do we want the freak out to go? How much do we need it? Like, I mean, they just need the movie to accept it and move on.
I know. And then he'll be like, I should probably get a CAT scan after this. She only comes to life when other people aren't around, although we don't know that yet. And we don't know what causes this to happen. Is this woman's spirit, this ancient Egyptian woman, it's not tied to the corporeal form of the mannequin.
We also don't know how she came alive and all the other times when she did. I mean, they don't explain it. I just assume her soul gets to possess an object. Could
she possess like a Mr. Potato Head?
Well, and maybe this is why she's met so many impressive characters. Maybe only a deserving, interesting person gets to. It doesn't make sense. But why try to make something make sense so much if you're not actually going to explain it later? Like, it's just, why do we even need this backstory?
Yeah, I do kind of like a fantasy where everything is just kind of brushed. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I know there are people who do care about that, but that's not the kind of story you're watching.
Just decide which one it is, though.
So, Kim Cattrall as Emmy, and her British Canadianness does come out when she says, does this feel like an hallucination? She says, an hallucination. It is a pet peeve of mine that Americans will sometimes inject an "an" before an H word. Like they'll often say "an historic." But that's the point, is that if you were British, you would not say historic, you would say historic. Mm-hmm. So you'd say an historic. Right,
because it's how it sounds, it's not how it's spelled.
Exactly. Idiots. So they play with power tools and they run around the department store and frolic and stuff.
That's all you're going to say? It's adorable. They wear all the clothes. Is this the montage with all the clothes?
No, that's later.
Oh, okay, good.
It's fine.
It's my favorite.
Jonathan wonders if insanity's covered in the company health plan.
All right, but there's no reason that we can really know if
it covers it.
Exactly. We need to talk to them. But also, I mean, there's a reading of this movie that he is insane. That this all was an illusion because he's at his lowest point. All right, talk about the impossible bigness of his fucking apartment. Go on.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. That's hack. To complain about how people in movies have enormous apartments, this is absurd. And he has a fucking grand piano in his apartment. Also lots of books. He's so soulful. He's always reading books. And he calls his mom and he's like, Mom, I know I'm so weird and I'm always doing weird things like playing baseball and stuff. But tell me, did I ever have any hallucinations when I was growing up? And did ever like a mannequin come to life or anything like that? And yeah.
All right.
The window displays that Jonathan and Emmy and Hollywood, I guess, are teaming up to do.
Hollywood didn't do any of it, but he might help later. But
he's the window dresser.
He's in charge of, right.
He's taking his job.
He could have been read that way, but that's why Hollywood's so awesome. He rolls with it. He's excited. He likes the creativity. But anyway, he left early because he needed to go be with Albert.
That's true. This screenplay is airtight. So it's starting to attract a crowd. People are starting to show up. What's in this window? Why is this mannequin wearing that? And why are there tennis rackets? That's only one way to find out. Got to go into the store and buy stuff. I wonder if, I'm sure you will say yes, but I wonder if there's data on window displays actually affecting sales.
It brings me in. So yeah, I'm going to say yes, because if something catches my eye, if there's a style or a look or like a range of styles that I like on a mannequin, I can assume that in the store are going to be things that I like. It's a completely different experience to grab something that's like row by row by row, squinched in and pull it up and go, what does that look like on a human? You do need to see it on a form.
Yes.
And you need to see it outside. If there's a row of shops, it's the way you're going to pull me into yours.
Okay.
Next question. You want to talk about babies?
Babies?
Homemaking? Nipples?
What?
All the female topics that I know so much about.
Yeah, Jonathan is getting all of this credit, and James Spader, Richards, is not happy about that. He's like, this guy's a nincompoop. Why did we even hire him? And he's talking on the phone to Mr. BJ Wirt over at Illustra because, again, they're colluding. They're trying to take down this store. And he is trying to get Jonathan fired because he set up this garish display. I don't know what's so garish about it, but everybody agrees this is bold and daring and garish and unbecoming of Prince and company. So
no one agrees.
but sorry, what am I missing something? What's like wrong with this display? Like what?
It's kitsch.
It is?
It's not highbrow. Well, the fact that her outfit's beautiful. It's very playful pose, but they have, electronics. They have a tennis ball going back and forth, which is why.
Oh, wait, there's tennis rackets instead of people's heads.
Are you fucking
I didn't
kidding?
notice.
So that the tennis rackets go back and forth like this, the way you follow a tennis match. There's a ball going back and forth between the two people, making you look that person. So it's a double entendre. I can't stop looking at these outfits. I can't stop watching this game.
Oh, this is garish and bold.
Jesus,
but I might have
Matt.
to shop at this
You don't
place.
just have face blindness. You have blindness when an object is used as a face.
It's true.
What if it had been a Mack truck? You'd be dead.
So Estelle Getty, sorry, because trying to say character names, not actor names.
I know I'm bad at that.
Claire is leading this board meeting where Richards is trying to get Jonathan fired. But she won't have it. She says, in fact, I'm going to promote him because this is the most attention our store has ever gotten. And then they go into the business of we're near bankruptcy. We're days away from bankruptcy. We got to sell to Illustra. And she's like, but at 10% of our value? No, let's give it another 6 weeks. Let's double down on these weird window displays and see if anything happens with there. So Jonathan gets his promotion and please go do your window stuff. James Spader is very funny here. Because once Jonathan's job is saved, James Spader Richards is like, hey, I saved your job, Jonathan. You're very welcome.
That was everything I could do to keep you here, buddy.
So then the fucking dance and costume.
Yeah, they do.
Montage,
they were the best stuff. And they get to finally show off Andrew McCarthy's little tricks too. He can do things with hats. He can dance kind of. He's a sweetheart. The bottom line is they like being, if people can be silly together and they think it's funny and they get each other's humor, that's it. This movie is a fast love, whirlwind love thing that actually does a good job of laying the groundwork for why two people like or love each other so much so quickly.
Two boring people, yeah, it makes sense.
They're not boring. Look at them having a blast. You're boring.
This montage goes on for a long time.
It's really fucking long.
Lacey in New Orleans says she loves costume montages, so they roll it.
All right. Which is why I had a costume change. See, this is not what I was wearing at the beginning of the episode.
It was very exciting when you changed.
You
made some gestures to me, and I was like, oh.
So 80s, the shirt, man.
Yeah, after this montage, I think is where it reveals that Emmy will turn back into a mannequin whenever anybody else comes around, because Hollywood shows up, and Jonathan's like, Hollywood, I want you to meet my girlfriend, Emmy. What? You're a mannequin again? And then he leaves. Hollywood leaves, and Emmy comes back to life. And says, oh, I forgot to tell you, you're the only one who can see me. And he's like, well, that's not fair. And she says, don't ask me, talk to them. And she points up at the sky, at the Egyptian gods, at Amun-Ra and Anubis. So they are real. They are playing a role in this movie.
So people are so excited. This is the 80s. There's nothing else to do. They're looking at these window displays. It's on my way to work anyway. And now Roxy is given the very sexist mission of seducing Jonathan into working at Illustra, so they can continue their plan of taking over the business. So she asks him to dinner. She's very confident. He hilariously has worked at this restaurant before and apparently set an entire part of it on fire, which that joke's funny. I like, the balcony looks nice. They redid the balcony. Or those parts are fine, but that they needed to burn a man's toupee and put that's all so, I don't know, just wasn't very well done, but whatever. He says no, he can't be bought. He's not the same person, meaning he's found love.
I'm not the person you used to know 3 days ago.
Fine. He's had the most profound thing happen to him. Physics are different. And he's got someone who really appreciates him. He got a job and a promotion. Also, he's good at sculpting, even though he's not sculpting anything. But he's an artist, Matt. He's fulfilling all the shit. Spies. Okay, so now Felix the Cop and Roxy and Armand catch Jonathan. Well, okay. I'm reading your notes and I'm not setting up the fucking premise. Okay, so since Jonathan says no, the big plan from BJ is that, well, then you go and spy on him. We got to get some dirt. We got to blackmail this guy into coming over here. So they get footage of him making sweet love to a mannequin, his mannequin. and take pictures of it like that's some big deal. And Felix, the cop, is also seeing him and trying to catch him, think he's up to something, not sure what it is, but it's gross.
And he's like, oh.
What does he think is happening?
No, I don't know, but he's
He could
like,
be fucking every clothes rack and every mannequin, and who cares?
you're fucking this mannequin? I'll show you what I think of that. And then he socks him in the face.
Right, like standing up for mannequins?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
I don't know. He says like, I'm just a weirdo artist. This is just how I work. This is how I get my inspiration.
process,
Yeah.
right.
So yes, I think that's a good defense. I think it would work. I think that he could keep this up for probably like 30 years until maybe like 2017 when like a shocking expose comes out about what he's really doing.
Okay, this is a very weird part of the movie. I guess they need to hurry up and have her fulfill all those things she wanted while she was talking to her mom, because at the end of the day, all she's really fulfilling is a love story. She's only just marrying a guy and getting married, and he's going to love her for the rest of her life. So like, isn't that much different from what she was going to do in Egypt? So, but wait, before she commits, she's going to get in one of those freaking weird parasail. What is it called? A hang glider with the weird body, like the dead body thing attached to it. It's just a weird body bag that you put your legs in. It's not becoming. And she flies down the middle of the giant store like Amelia Earhart in her little outfit. And that is smittening material for the Jonathan here.
Yeah, because she's like, Jonathan, there's never been anyone more special than you in 4,000 years of human history. Which, yes, there has.
Come on, Chris. It is nice that they imply in a not weird way that Christopher Columbus is gay.
No, they don't. No, Michelangelo.
Him too. Both together. They were together.
No, she dated Michelangelo, but he was more into a guy named David.
Oh, right.
And her guy named Chris, he thought the world. I told him, because I'm smart, that the world is round, which Christopher Columbus knew the world was round. Everyone knew that.
She
at the time.
told him.
No, I know.
That's how he found out.
Yeah. Hey, you think if you lived for 4,000 years, do you, at a certain point, you like forget everything, right?
Are you asking me personally?
Yeah. If like I can barely remember 10 years ago,
yeah.
My memories are fading fast.
Oh, you're so right. I mean, she's magical, right? She made his motorcycle start. So like, does that mean she can also retain?
Like her brain tissue is stronger?
But wait, also, I don't know that she has experienced every part of the history. And what I thought was that she kind of pops in and out. So to her, she's just had probably, 30 years of memories. And it's just that they've all been at different times. And because what else would explain her weird Egyptian dancing? Why does she only know how to dance like an Egyptian if she's been through all of humanity up until this point? The Charleston should have been on the table at some point, I'm saying.
Yeah, because she doesn't know things like when the music starts playing on the speaker, she's like, where are the musicians?
Right. So she doesn't know what happened there's gaps. So she's worldly, she knows things, but I think she's only been popped in and out of time.
I do like to think about having eternal life, and like you'd change your name probably every few hundred years, and because you'd literally just feel like you're a different person. You
said you change your name every 5 years on the Fried Green Tomatoes episode.
I did? Mm-hmm. Why did I say that?
Because you're a different person.
5 years?
I thought it was a short window of time as well. I guess you're an idiot.
No, I had read an article about like that idea of, are we the same person?
Right.
Does it even make sense to use the same name we used? Which is something people, philosophers have debated for a long time. What do I have in common with the 4-year-old version of myself? Right. Something to ponder, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't have enough of that.
Jonathan is on the up and up. He's ascendant. He's a star. And we get like spinning newspaper headlines like
Lester Profit's down.
Window man does good window stuff.
Right, but why are they going to feature a Lustra and for some reason they care about BJ Wirt? I mean, is he?
Yeah, he's a regional manager.
He's a regional. Look, it's a huge picture of him too.
I know. This son of a bitch is doing a bad job.
He's wartless.
Nice.
Thank you.
So Richards and Felix the cop.
Son of a bitch is doing a what an incentive to do good at your work. Just you don't want to make it on page 4.
The press to nail your ass.
What? That's just reserved for like own of the what day, week, whatever.
Yeah, the fucking
you're gonna find yourself on page
Philadelphia newspaper man whose beat is department stores.
No, just anyone that sucks at their job right now.
Oh, okay.
They'd really sell that ad space. You got anybody you hate? $25. It would be a hit.
Richards and Felix, they get fired because they're doing weird stuff. They're spying on Jonathan in the middle of the night. And Claire, Estelle Getty, doesn't like that. And she says,
I'm just kidding. That is quite a role to just fire. I mean, he runs the everyday operations of the entire 11th floor.
she has Jonathan now. She doesn't need
He
him.
doesn't do the administrative
Doesn't
work.
matter.
All right, then.
It is a little rash. And here's
And then she makes him a vice president.
she says this because when Kim Cattrall was flying in the hang glider, she crashed it into Felix and knocked him out for the night. So he woke up, 12 hours later in the store. And Claire's like, Mr. Richards, is this what you call a security officer who sleeps on the floor? Whatever. So she says he's fired. And then James Spader's like, oh, how could you fire him?
Don't do his voice.
Him.
It's gross what you're doing.
And she says, you know what? When you escort him to pick up his last paycheck, pick up your own last paycheck, mister. So it recurs again, the paycheck line.
Oh, God, I didn't know where the fuck this point was going.
It's all connected. Jonathan, he's doing it. He's a lot of pressure on him now. He's got the big job. He's got to do window stuff real good, but he's not doing the window stuff. It's actually his girlfriend
That's
who no
not
one can
true.
see. He's helping, but it's not.
He ends up being the one that's completely doing it.
At this point, though, it's not. At this point, it's
Fine.
all
Emmy.
Emmy. So it's basically Ratatouille. And
You just want to say that.
We get a successful, yes, we get like this store is really successful montage. Everything's going great.
Except for he every day needs to go into the women's bathroom and definitely do hand stuff with that mannequin.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
And
This guy fucks is the name of this slide. This guy fucks.
a mannequin. His coworkers are like, he went into the bathroom again to fuck his mannequin. Let's listen.
But why the women's bathroom? What? That's polite to go into the women's one?
You know who doesn't like this? She wrote about a certain wizard. Illustra, they're going to blackmail Jonathan with the pictures of him smooching with his mannequin. And they're going to make him come work for us instead. Come make our windows good, please.
Don't you want to be
Or
here
else
where all the
we'll
blackmail is?
Or else we'll release these photos to the press and your picture will be large. So
You're on page 4.
he takes her into the bathroom. He's like, great news, Emmy. I'm the vice president. She's like, that's great. But then for a second looks kind of somber.
They don't have like miles and miles of like back, storage room
That's a good
areas,
point.
just ghost places where like all kinds of old stock has just been pushed
Oh,
over.
yeah.
Where do they keep the
It's
winter
11
stuff?
floors.
I mean, you got to go in the fucking executive women's bathroom. Like he doesn't even seem to be on the floor, the shopping floor. He seems to be in the boardroom executive floor. Look at the nice, do hand stuff with Emmy in a different bathroom or
But
in
they're
not a
not-
bathroom at all.
I did write several times. So are they having sex in my notes? And
No, they're
I would
just
say
talking.
canonically they're not having sex
No,
yet.
I know, but
So
also get a wagon. Pull her around in a wagon. That'd be cute.
she's like, oh, I only wish. And he's like, no, I'm sorry, Emmy. I never ask you about your day. I know that like, I'm getting all the credit for your work. And she's like, but I'm happy about that. I'm fine. I don't need anything else beyond doing all your work for you and you getting all the credit and me never getting to see anybody else. And then,
I'll bet you're great. I wouldn't know.
yeah.
I only ever get to see one man at a time. Every time I pop into history, one guy. And I turn into a mannequin. That's right.
Hollywood. Man,
Michelangelo, she was a sculptor.
that
you
makes
see.
sense. Yeah.
And then for Christopher Columbus, she was a boat.
The whole boat.
He was in her.
Ooh. Hollywood comes into the bathroom and she turns back into a mannequin and he's like, hey, you've kind of taken my job. And he's like, don't worry, I failed up into a position of power, so I'll protect your job forever. Yes.
Okay, but very sweetly, all the little assholes are like, all the employees who got their ear to the door, they're listening, they're being total gross voyeur idiot judgers. And Hollywood walks up and he tells everybody to go fuck off. I think it's very sweet.
That's not true. He says, how dare you eavesdrop on him without me?
Oh, damn it.
So he joins in on the eavesdropping.
Okay, but he normalizes it. Whatever, he's great. He's infallible. Go ahead.
I will. Jonathan decides I'm going to publicly acknowledge that I'm dating my mannequin.
Good for him.
And he takes her out on a date on the back of his motorcycle. Who cares? Who knows? This kind of reminded me of the movie Her, where Joaquin Phoenix starts dating his voice assistant. And like he tells his coworker, and the coworker's like, yeah, a lot of people are doing that now. But Roxy shows up. She's like, please work for Illustra. Please work for Illustra. And he's like, no, I work for Prince & Company. We care about each other. We're a family here. Our jobs are totally not going to go away in 8 years when Amazon takes over.
She'll be an old mannequin by then.
They finally fuck.
I like that they make it clear that now it's fuck time.
Yeah.
Because I was unclear. I just assumed.
No, I assumed too, but now you know.
Right. That's sweet. So after romantic sex, Jonathan falls asleep. Like I'll never understand people in a dangerous, precarious situation. They're not in their own home and they're doing something they're not supposed to, usually fucking, and they get fucked so good they fall asleep in the place they shouldn't be.
He is a deep and weird tortured artist. He lives for this shit. The toxins and hormones in his brain, you know what I'm saying, get all released and he has to go to sleep in the tent in the middle of the store.
All right, anyway, so he wakes up in fur or whatever. I don't know what he's wearing.
He's covered in fur.
He's like,
the tent is gone.
He drifted over into the
fur
section. The bear rugs section. Because you go camping, you need a tent, you kill a bear, and then you make rugs. And so it's all in the same department. Floor 7.
I did like this. The crowd, they wake up, it's 11:30 in the morning and he's naked in the middle of the store, but he doesn't get fired. But
they applaud him though, right?
Yeah, I like
it was some sort of performance art.
Yeah, because somebody says, this is on the subtitles, they're like, oh, it's theater. I get it.
I don't want to be left out of this.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, I forgot to say that before he falls asleep, he says to Emmy, you inspire me. Ugh. We could build cities, design things with care and dignity. People need that.
Huh. How do you feel about that, Matt?
I think it's dumb.
Piss. All right, there's this Illustra. We're in Illustra right now. There's a heist. Did we skip? So while the fucking is happening? No, wait. We're skipping some parts. I don't understand.
They steal the mannequin.
Yeah, but he's busy doing something. I forget why he's distracted.
No, while he's asleep, they steal the mannequin.
Oh, see.
So he falls asleep. Emmy goes back to her window.
Okay.
And that's when they steal her.
Emmy goes back to her window. But they steal a lot of mannequins because they can't tell the difference. They hide them in the storage room, which that's fine. This is a giant department store. And then I think they let Jonathan know that we've got your girls or work here. You'll never see her again. I can't actually.
Well, yeah, Hollywood's like, bad news. The mannequins have all been stolen. And so he runs over.
He knows where to go. Okay. And then that's where we're like, you'll get her back if you work here, see? And then for some reason, because he says no. But Roxy freaks the fuck out and just runs to where she is. The mannequins are all hiding, which is like, you didn't have to do that. Also, why you gotta take his love? He's finally happy. Asshole. She probably thinks he could just get another mannequin. She doesn't understand.
To be fair, she doesn't know that it's a living being.
Yeah, but she knows how attached to it he is.
Yeah, but she thinks he's a child. She thinks I used to date a child who's obsessed with a toy.
That's fine, but you don't take that child's toy and then incinerate it or destroy it. That's fucking cruel and horrible.
You do if you're a scorned ex-lover.
You shouldn't be fucking children, Roxy.
I agree with that.
He was too infantile for you to date. You shouldn't have been taking advantage of him the whole time. She wanted a lovesick, putty in her hands kind of guy. I see you, Roxy.
No, she's disgusting.
Disgusting. Get some more shoulder pads. You look so unboxy. Roxy. Okay. Here comes my man Hollywood to the rescue. Because Jonathan chases her for far too long. Is a giant store.
I like this. I like that there's like 20 cops chasing him through the clothes section, and they're just like throwing aside the clothes racks, right? like unnecessarily.
Like all of this is someone's art or job or something. A lot of care. If you've ever worked in retail, which I did briefly, it is horrible, thankless, precise, boring work. And the work I see put into this shit, you line up each pair of pants in the same order by size. There's a whole art to it, and they just anyway.
Get him.
Yeah. So they chase them all the way back into the back of this building that looks like the place in Us where all the people who are tethered live. That's how big and giant this area is. But Hollywood comes to the rescue because Roxy puts all the mannequins on a big giant conveyor belt a la Toy Story 3 that takes a really long time to get up to the place where it then goes into the chopper. I don't know why you can't just stick them straight into the fucking chopper. But anyway, so for dramatic effect, we're watching it. He's running out of time. Jonathan needs to get away from these cops. Don't worry. For some reason, there's a giant fire hose. And Hollywood's going to spray it. And there's two things Hollywood likes. And that's fighting and kissing boys.
And then once they turn off the water and he runs away, James Spader yells at the cops, "Shoot him!" What an upset that this unarmed black man doesn't get shot by the cops.
Is that what he says?
Yeah. But it's shoot him. It's funny.
Give him a shot on the arm.
So, but then the mannequin is about to fall into the incinerator, but Jonathan saves her because she comes to life.
And for some reason, for the first time, wait. Before she comes to life, he's struggling to get this mannequin out of there. He's been toting her up and down the store all over the place. And all of a sudden, Emmy.
When suddenly she has blood and tissue and stuff inside her, she's lighter. And he can pull her up.
No, Matt, I'm saying when she came to life eventually, but he's pulling up a wooden mannequin for half of it.
I know. I was jokingly saying that suddenly she's a real person, but now she's...
Really good joke. Anyway, he saves her life. And now she is alive. For some reason, you know what?
What?
Jonathan was the first person that the gods popped her into existence, into their life. And did something truly selfless, I guess, except for he wants her. It's not selfless. I'm saving the person I love.
My income depends on you.
He's heroic, and this brings her to actual life for some fucking reason.
It's very sweet. The gods work in mysterious ways, the ancient Egyptian gods. And then all the cops are like, I don't know, who do we shoot? Just shoot them all just to be safe. But then Estelle Getty shows up and she's like, wait a minute, I have a videotape. I installed a security camera system finally, and it shows that you people have been sneaking around my store and illegally spying on my employees. Arrest these men. And the cops are like, oh, okay, I guess. So yeah. And then Jonathan is like, boss, did you see everything on those tapes? And she's like, I saw everything I needed to. And he's like, everything? And she's like, everything. Yeah, okay. I saw you eating that mannequin's ass.
All right.
Yeah.
They're so easy to pose, though. You can get right to that anus. And then they get married, and Hollywood cries, and it's so sweet. And then they play the world's best song.
Which is?
No,
what is the name of the song?
Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, the Mannequin song. Open
By
parentheses,
whom?
the Mannequin song. Starship.
Okay. And it's nice. I'm very proud of you, love. All right, go ahead. Sing it.
Well, no, I want if you want it.
What if I put the character?
Nothing's gonna stop us now. That's all you get until we're alone.
Presumably, she has a social security number now.
Yeah, that all came into her purse whenever she was brought to life.
Yes. It is nice that, hey, you gotta get married because the Christian God will frown on.
Right. It like they can't even like cohabitate an apartment and see what it's like whenever everyone can see her and she gets attention from other humans.
Ronald in Minneapolis likes weddings at the end of movies, so gotta
Ronald from Minneapolis.